Hey everyone, welcome back to the bloody battlefields of northern Italy. Today we're diving into another tutorial. But before we get started, if you like military strategy, tactics, or doctrine and seeing it applied to strategy games, this is definitely the channel for you. So make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Also check out the Patreon because we are working on a brand new after action report. So head on over, it's absolutely free. Now let's dive into some of these unique mechanics that I'm actually wanted to make this video about. It's going to talk about radar warning signals. We're going to talk about the contact orders. So if we click on this unit right here, we have several different types of movement orders, but the two we're going to talk about are both contact and defend. They're both unique and they actually combine with a lot of other orders. So if we hover our mouse over this area, you see that little relief icon up on top, that new window that popped up, that's 10. That relief icon is actually really critical to the game. It allows your units to take cover. I believe the game calls it deflayed, which is also known as cover in military terms. Not quite dug in, just a little bit different. But if your units, infantry units, aren't spotted, it means they become hidden. However, your tanks, it increases relatively their defensive posture and allows them to take cover. So that's the kind of things we're going to talk about in this video. So the first thing we did is we drew our two phase lines right here. We're going to continue to practice our fundamentals and synchronization. It's just something critical and it's super fun to do, and it really increases your immersion. So this right here is, this first blue line is phase line 1. The second blue line is phase line 2. We're going to use these to coordinate our attack. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on our infantry platoon right here, this mechanized platoon, and we're going to click on standard operating procedures. One, we want to unload on contact, just in case we take any ATGMs or in-laws to the sides of our vehicles or to the top. Our troops will unload instead of sitting there getting blown up. So we're going to right click and we're going to go contact. Alright, what contact's going to do is this unit right here is going to move into this position, and if they come in any contact with any enemies, they're immediately going to engage them and they're going to stop moving. So realistically what we could do, we could drive this contact line all the way across the map, and these units are going to move all the way until they reach first contact, at which point they will begin engaging the enemy. Our troops will dismount and we will just have a fun little firefight, bring the kinetic war down. Alright, the next thing we're going to do the same for our tanks up here. We're going to right click, contact. We want these troops to move into contact. Once they achieve that objective, what we're going to do is we're going to hold control. We're going to right click again and we're going to select defend. Defend is very, very unique. It's one of the several different mechanics. Ideally we want these troops to kind of move around this area to get into a good defensive position. So these units are going to push forward, advance one more time, and then we're going to go into a defend position. So what's going to happen? Thank you. Can you stop? Thank you. These units are going to move first contact, then they're going to move again right here. Once we click this, they're going to go into a defensive position and they're going to attempt to gain line of sight this way, this direction over here. So if we grab this and we see where our line of sight is from here, this is not a good defensive area. So what we're going to do is going to click off that. We're going to right click one more time. We're going to delete last waypoint. We're going to go right here. Should be fine. We could move a bit further if we wanted to. So if we delete last waypoint, first contact, control, advance. We're going to push up to here, and then from here we're just going to defend. Right? So they're going to move, then they're going to go. We're going to activate this defense. If we hover over this line of sight right here, we have fantastic line of sight now. So we can see perfectly over this objective. Defend super is different. Your units won't move to a defensive position. They'll just minimize their movement. They're going to take cover. They're going to maximize their concealment. So this is perfect for our infantry platoon, especially out in the open. So let's get started on this battle. Oh, actually we already did the tanks. Alright, we have some mechanized units spotted over here, possibly tank, not quite sure yet. Realistically, once we get to this first phase line, we're going to also call in our airstrikes or our air support. I believe they may have some suppression of enemy air defenses, but they may be primarily focused on close air support. So we have our first units getting contact, obviously way too soon because this is a small battle. As you can see, tank on tank, track vehicle. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to attempt to suppress them with our Corsairs. Corsairs do have a bit of seed, so let's do that. Minimize that. Here we go. As you get, all right, now let's pause real quick. So what we need to talk about is this green half circle right here. This, I mentioned this in the beginning of the video. If we hover over this one more time, you see that relief icon? That relief 10, that's 10%. So what that means is when an enemy unit moves into this when a friendly unit moves into this position, they have a 10% chance to take cover, or I believe it's defiled. I'm going to butcher that word, I apologize. So what happens is this unit is now more concealed and they have more cover. It's not quite as good as dug in, but it is a bit more cover, and they are engaging the enemy from in a covered position. So one other thing that I wanted to talk about while this video continues on in this battle, we wait for our airstrikes to start coming in. These units begin moving forward. Oh, we gotta hit resume. I was like, why aren't they moving? Easy hit. We can mark that if we wanted to. Possible enemy technicals right there. Tank, enter. So we have 2 tanks. Don't need that tank. Alright. Our infantry platoon. Our mechanized infantry slowly moving into position. They're going to execute this first contact order. Remember, this unit's going to... Oh, we lost... Oh, that tank lost a tank. We need to get this unit advancing. 30 seconds before that order, we're starting to fall behind. Getting very minimal. Remember, this is why we have this control option right here. So we can activate our next move. So once this tank's in position, from there, we can work on moving forward. Same thing, we're going to go control, click, control, defend. Alright, plenty of time. All those are going to burn down. This time's going to expire. Realistically, we want to be in a defensive position on top of a unit, like above, like on a hillside. So if we were to click ISO, really this is the plains of Italy, so there's really no hillsides beyond, but we could put troops in these buildings right here. That's what that would allow us to do, is to get better top-down attacks on our units or on the enemy units. So if we had like a javelin, in-law, RPGs, ATGMs, putting units up on hillsides, so like this little hill right here, or in second stories of these buildings, is going to allow us to hit the top armor, which is much weaker. Alright. Let's activate that next movement order. These tanks are a little behind. We're just going to do the same for these tanks down here. Everything's active. Alright, mechanized units moving through. This unit's taking the road. Still no contacts up here on the north side. That's fantastic, but we're slowly moving into position. New tanks. Our airstrike's still not coming up. We're going to activate our second one, see if we can get it here a bit sooner. Alright, second airstrike will be in 4 minutes. Ideally, all units are going to be in position for this next phase of attack. That was a tracked vehicle that actually hit the broadside of this tank. That's fantastic. Bit of deflection, which is unfortunate. Not quite. I believe we're hitting at a 45 instead of a direct 90. That's never good. A direct 90 would have been perfect. Tanks up. I guarantee this tank's no longer here. 50 seconds till our next airstrike's on deck. Alright. Units slowly moving into position. They're actually at their defensive area right now. Alright, so we have our first mechanized vehicle in a defensive position. Still pretty far out from the objective, which is perfectly fine. Second vehicle in a defensive position. Third, right? Alright, this unit's looking to spread out, get better line of sight on the objective. AI is taking over, and they're all attempting to look down to see what we got. So if we grab this line of sight tool, we can see what they see. See how that unit moved into a better view. That unit kind of has a view. That unit definitely has a view. This unit has no view. Alright, another target destroyed up here in this northern, over here, on this eastern part. Here come our Corsairs. Alright, let's see what we get. We're looking for the... Ooh, oh my god. Alright. That was a good little cluster strike on those units. That's fantastic. Took out probably a whole enemy armor brigade right there. Division, platoon. Probably platoon. Continue to move those. We have fire going, smoke up. Smoke actually obscures. Yep, those were our Corsairs. Thermal vision. The fire is going to obscure any thermals. So that's going to be really beneficial for our continued assault. Alright, tanks continue to move up. We're going to grab this platoon right here. And we're going to try and get them into a better position. We're going another contact move again. Remember, units will move until they come in contact. From contact, we're going to take another defensive position. Right, looks like we have finally identified a vehicle. Lost sight. Looks to be Soviet T-55s. Slowly moving to the objective. We're moving much better. I believe we have no in-place times or anything like that, so we should ideally be easily able to eliminate them. They're actually in range of our next artillery attack. Artillery airstrike, which is quite fantastic. Let's get that next airstrike on deck. Get our next units in play. We're trading blows right now. These T-55s are turning our units, absolutely destroying our tanks. Both suppressed, unfortunate. Alright, hopefully this. There we go. Rockets, top armor. Cluster bomb. Wow. What is that? And there it is. Okay. You know, lots of focus on that tank. Pretty much almost destroyed it with 2 airstrikes and 4 MBTs. But that's the video. Fun little conflict. Hope you learned something. Peace out, guys.